Last few decades, the Human Rights Project has become increasingly progressive, advocating a singular way of living the good life with a demotion of traditional conservative values that don't fit in, such as those associated with the religious belief or with social institutions such as families, churches, schools, communities, and clubs. Then in 2012, the Hoover Institute published on human rights that when the American section of Amnesty International was first founded in the 1970s, William F. Buckley was one of its earliest supporters. So it used to be conservatives were quite down with human rights, but then human rights got taken over by the left. And so now human rights are identified as a left-wing cause. Human rights standards are established globally without respect to different peoples, different cultures, and different historical contingencies. So human rights have come to be associated with opposition to the death penalty, the closure of prisons, assertions of a right to health care, and other left-wing causes. One issue that divides the left and the right is that the right tends to place more emphasis on security, and the left tends to place more emphasis on personal liberty. So the right will often say that national interests trump human rights, and the left will say human rights should trump national interests. A little bit more here from Melanie.
Of the United Nations Human Rights Council and all the organizations associated with the United Nations, the International Criminal Court, the International Court of Justice, the big NGOs like Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International, and in Israel, B'Tselem. These are all institutions that march under the banner of human rights on the basis that human rights is an unchallengeable faith to do with basically bringing about the end of prejudice, the end of war, and bringing about the brotherhood of man. And that's Keir Starmer. And so if you take the view as I do, that this culture of ostensibly moderate left-wingery is actually responsible for the animus against Israel,